Hey, just wanted to hop on and make this quick video tutorial on how to use my UIL tabulation system so that you can use it without me being there. But the first thing you're going to need is you should have an email in your inbox that is inviting you to collaborate on this base called UIL District 2023 153A, or if you're somebody else watching this at a later date, if I made one for you, it might have a different name. Uh, but whatever one, you should have an email that has invited you to that, in which case you'll have to accept. And I think it's going to bill you $24 for a month, unless you want to do the 144 for a year, which I wouldn't recommend just for this particular use case. Uh, but you can pay that $24. I think it's going to bill you and not bill me. If it bills me, then we'll work that out later. Uh, but we got to have this in the Pro plan to be able to use all the automation functions that I need. Uh, so you're going to open that up. You won't have all these different bases. You'll just have this one here in your Airtable, which is a fantastic program, by the way. Cannot recommend it enough. But here in this base, you're going to have all these different tables. And this is kind of the back end of it that you shouldn't actually need to interface with. This is all the setup for it that's already done, and you should really only have access to add records to this and not edit the structure of it at all. But essentially, it lets me have a list of all the schools that are participating. So I've already got those entered here. I like to put their logos because it makes me feel better. I'm going to delete these out. I was using them for testing. But for each one, it keeps data on the school, the number of UIL points they have, journalism points, speech and debate points. So you can see the fields there. I've also got a list of events going on. Uh, you actually might have to edit this, or you can send me the schedule. But I would do the schedule through here with the room number, the grading times, and grading information, and then the director, so that people know who to contact about that. I've also got a list of results. There aren't any in here right now because your meet hasn't happened yet, but this is where they would all end up. A list of the possible awards, like if you get first. The reason I need that is so that you can, or I can associate it with the point value. You get 15 points for getting first in something. Some reference documents. This is where I like to just have the links that I need all the time. Um, for example, I've got this UIL quick reference chart that lets me look at all the official scoring rules for each of those things, just in case there's an issue with the scoring. This is the site that I'm going to publish all these results to. So I like to have it linked there. There's also a QR code here that you can scan or have people scan to be able to view the site, takes them directly there. An error form, which is going to let people enter any issues that they've got. I'll talk about that later. And then the entry interface, which is where you're actually going to enter results in. And the last thing down here is I'll have this video tutorial linked. So if you need to watch it, it'll be here. And the last thing is the contact form. If they find an issue and they need to contact you, they can fill in this form and all that information is going to go here. Like I filled it in there just so you can take a quick look at it. So to actually enter your results, there's several different ways you can get there. The easiest one is I'm going to email you this link. It's this one right here. That's the entry interface. You can click on that link, like you can bookmark it, and it'll take you right here. You do not have to go through this guide, but you can if you're here in just the regular set of tables. You can click on interfaces. This one is the results entry interface. See, this takes you the same spot either way. So in this interface, you've got a list of events. If you complete an event, it goes down to this list where it's check marked. Otherwise, it's an incomplete event, so it stays up here. And then you click on whatever event you need to enter. Some of these I need to take out because they're just for schedule, like the setup for computer apps. But if you're going to enter the results for ready writing, you click on ready writing. And then you type in all the fields that you see here. So first up is the name. Say I had Amy Adams, who competed in ready writing, and they were from Sabine. Okay, and they got first. Then it's going to award Sabine the 15 points for first. If it's a scored event, you can input the score as well, just because some people like to have that information. So we had a few more entries here. Betty Boop, we'll say also from Sabine, you know. And then Case and Carter from, we'll say Gladewater, just making up names here. Donald Duck, and I don't know a good E name. I'll say Edith Wharton, which is really random. And then Flappy Bird. Running out of creativity there. And I'll put in their schools here. Okay, so now I've got all my schools, don't have any scores. It's going to award each of those schools those points, and I say that's complete, and it's done. So that inputs it into my database, and it's all good. To publish those results to the website, you can click on this little link, publish results. It's going to take you to the edit access for the website. And what you want to do is over here, you're going to click pages. And under pages, there's a lot of stuff because there's a lot of different pages to this guy. And you're going to click down here in results, and you see most of the pages here are hidden. This is actually the second time I recorded this video, so I've got a couple of them that are already open. But here on the list, say I just scored ready writing, and click here on the three dots and do show in navigation. So now when I click on results or hover over results, it's going to show ready writing as being there. But in order for that to show up on your public website, you're going to have to click publish, like so, and then it publishes it, and we'll see what it looks like here. I'm going to go to this site, which I've already got it pulled up there. But here I can look at my results for ready writing. And there they are listed in all their glory. But one of the great features about this thing is that it's going to automatically update your leaderboard. So I'm going to go over here to sweepstakes. And on my sweepstakes, it will have awarded each of those schools their appropriate number of points. And it shows their logos, shows their rank, shows the number of UIL points that they've got here on this little table. And it's going to do that for journalism when you update a journalism event, speech and debate when you update one of those. Automatically, it's going to do that. So every time that you finish entering results, you can go over here to pages, open that page up so that people can see it there. It's also going to show if you just click on straight up results, it'll have all of your results listed. So it's just got the ready writing right now, but later on it'll have other events listed. You could do that with all the events. Now, say you had in number sense, Twiddly-dee and Twiddly-dum. And Twiddly-dee and Twiddly-dum, they're so good that they tied for first. Say one was from Gladewater, one is from Sabine. If they tie, then you know that alters your UIL points. So we have to handle that here in the awards. So what you do in the case of a tie is you're going to delete out that first place award, and you're going to scroll down, and there's an option here for first tie. So in that place you put first tie, in this place you put first tie, and now it's going to split those points evenly between them and then skip on down to the rest of the awards. So it handles that. You could do that with any spot that's got a tie. So if your fourth place had a tie, you'd have, oops, I just hit it again. You'd have fourth tie, and instead of fifth place, you'd have fourth tie. And it's going to split those points as well. So I'm going to undo those. That way they are back to normal. But you can handle your ties that way, and it'll go into your system, or go into the system for sweepstakes with the tiebreak or the tied points instead of with the regular points. And then every time you mark complete, it's going to update that ranking. And then you can go over here to the website and open that up. So that was number sense. We'll do show in navigation, publish that. And then when we go look at that published site, and sometimes it does take like a minute to update, so don't freak out if it's not there. But it updated here, so you can see now both number sense and ready writing. It does these in alphabetical order, I think. And there's number since. You can go click on that and see its results. Okay, so there it is. Leaderboards will update with the points that you see right there. Yep. Okay, so that is how to handle ties. You just change that award out. And every time you complete an event, it's going to go down here to the complete section and be done out of sight, out of mind. And that'll handle basically everything for you. There are a couple of other features that I've got built in here that you can use if you prefer. Here under pages, there's a bazillion results pages. I have hidden the page that's the map because I don't have a map of your school. I did put in some driving directions here, but if you want to add a parking map, you can. If you want to add like a school map down here, you can. That's up to you. I like to have that for our meet, but we had a bazillion schools here and a lot of different rooms. So that's kind of up to you if you want to add that back in. But I took it out because I didn't have that information for you. And then you also have over here this feature that's report an error. So I'm going to show that on the actual website that's right here. If you click report an error, that's where somebody who sees an error in your results or your tabulation can tell you, because lots of eyes are better than two. And to do that, they're going to put in their name. They can pick their school, say it's from early college, the event that it applies to, calculator apps maybe. They can say what's wrong. I'll say nothing just for fun. And then the email address, phone number, if they want to put those. It's not required, but they can. So when they submit that, it's going to go over here to your regular Airtable into the contact forms. And this is the one that showed up here. And you can read, their name, where they're from, the event, whatever their comment was, and their contact information so that you can do something about it. Now, when they submit that form, it's going to send me an email. Whenever you are a collaborator on this base, I believe I can make it send you an email instead. So you'll get an email anytime anybody submits one of those reports that there's an error, and you can address it as soon as possible. Other things you can do is on the interface where you've got your results entry. Down here way at the bottom, there is a place where you can attach a scan, like a PDF of the results. I like to do that because I like to have copies of the originals. That way, if there's any kind of issue, I can go say, here is the original information, make sure it matches what I've got typed in here. That is completely up to you. By no means is it required, but I like to have that information. And then the last thing is, if you did want to do a big view for the sweepstakes totals or something like that, I created really briefly, and you could tell me if you want something else, and I can try to work around it, this sweepstakes view. So here in interfaces, and I'll put a link to this in the reference stuff, but here in the interfaces, you can click sweepstakes view, and it's going to take you to this guy. And in this guy, I'm going to have to change this so that it filters out where you actually have to have a UIL rank to be on here. You can just display this. If you press F11, it's going to make it full screen, so it takes away that overhead. And it'll display this on some big board. You can zoom in if you want it to be a little bit bigger. You can zoom out if you want it to be a little bit smaller. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of customizability on these. Like, I can't make these font sizes bigger, which is kind of dumb. But I don't think it's too big of an issue since people can also view this information on their phones pretty easily. But in order to do that, you probably want to have an auto refresh here on your Chrome. There's an extension. You can just look up auto refresh extensions. And when you click on that, it'll let you choose a time interval. It'll refresh every 10 seconds or so. So that way your information's always staying up to date. You're going to have the right order all the time. I think that's everything. Let me know if you have questions or concerns or need any changes to stuff, because I know my way around this stuff pretty well. But yeah, that's the whole deal. Let me know if you need anything.